Okay, thanks. How we doing?
Bill, with the disappointing end to the season, how essential is it that you use this week to get some offensive line help first?
I think this phase right here is a big part of the team building process. So we're right after the season, took some time off, came back to work, evaluated our own team. That's the first part of the process, where we at with our own team. And then we began the draft and free agency preparations, and now we're into the combine, which is another phase of the draft. And the whole thing is about, okay, where are we in the process of building the team? And so that's what we're doing right now. And all factors, every position, every player, we'll take a look at it and try to do the best we can to put together a good 2020 team.
So just in terms of how you're going to make personnel moves, like draft or free agency,
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways. I think one of the things that's important to us is to do the best we can is to keep our players that have been on our team, and I think that's a really important thing for us relative to where we're headed. And then, there's all different kinds of ways that you can build a team, right? There's obviously the draft, there's free agency, there's the college free agent process, there's all different ways. So we're taking all those things into account each and every day and trying to make decisions in the best interest of the team.
Can you talk some more about your history with Tim, how much you like him, and why you feel he's ready to take on?
Tim Kelly? Yeah, Tim Kelly's an excellent football coach. So Tim was a graduate assistant at Penn State my first 2 years there. Came to Houston, was a coaching assistant on offense, tight end coach, offensive coordinator, worked very closely with the offensive line when he was a coaching assistant and a tight end coach. Very hardworking guy, guy that really cares about the players. The players really respect him, does a great job in the meeting room, on the practice field, does a great job on game day. He's just an excellent coach. And we have a great relationship. He's a great person. And, we're excited for him to take the next step in his career here. He's going to coach the quarterbacks. He'll call the plays, and he'll do an excellent job.
Bill, I know the season was a bit successful, but it had a disappointing end.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you guys are still not that far off from being contenders, especially considering how young you are?
I think every year's different. I definitely think every year's different. I think that we feel really good about, obviously, Deshaun Watson. We feel really good about a lot of the players around Deshaun on offense. We feel good about where we are on defense, but we also know that there's a lot of things that we have to work on, right? And we know that 2020 will be definitely a different year than 2019. None of us like the way it ended, but we have to move on. We have to move on to this process of building our team for 2020, have a really good off-season program, which is very important, and then proceed into training camp. So we're really early in the process of building our 2020 team, but we're excited about where we are right now.
And how's your relationship with Deshaun grown over time?
Deshaun and I, I'll let him speak for his side of it, but I love the guy. He's an excellent football player, but he's an even better person. He cares about his teammates. He cares about being as good of a player and a teammate as he can be every single day. He tries to get better every day. He's a very smart player. He's gotten better and better. He's improved every single year. And, we obviously feel very good about and very fortunate to have him on our football team. I think having that position, as we all know, is very important, and we feel like we have an excellent player there. What's that? Jack's title is Executive Vice President of Football Operations. He does a lot of different things. He's involved with me on the personnel side. He's involved with me on the salary cap. He's involved with medical equipment, video. We do a lot of things together. Jack and I do a lot of things together. We spend a lot of time together. He's a great person, great guy to work with, very, very bright guy. Hopefully everybody gets a chance to meet him someday. But he's been an excellent addition to the organization.
Kevin Anthony Weaver instead of Romeo, considered he's been with Romeo all that time. How does he assert himself? Is Rabel able to do that?
Weave has a great presence. He was a former player and has coached for a long time. He's been in different schemes. He's done an excellent job with our D-line. He's been in front of the unit before because they divide up responsibilities during the week, so he's been in front of the unit before. He's very smart. And the players have a lot of respect for Anthony, and he's going to bring a lot of different ideas and creativity to our defense. Feel really good about our defensive staff. We added Chris Rumpf, outside linebacker coach. He had been with Coach Saban at Alabama. He'd been with Coach Pruitt at Tennessee. And we made Danton Lynn the secondary coach. Feel really good about Danton. Danton's an excellent coach. And so we're excited about where we are staff-wise on that side of the ball.
Bill, when did you know Anthony could kind of eventually get to this point?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you have guys on your staff, you spend a lot of time together, right? Especially, from, off-season program and then the end of July through, January, you spend a lot of time together. So Weave and I have spent a lot of time together talking about defense. I've interviewed Weave. I've talked to him about what he would do if he was ever the defensive coordinator, and he did a great job in those meetings. Very bright guy, has a really good grasp of the whole defense, not just the front, has a really good grasp of coverage in front and how it all works together. He's worked for some great guys, played for some great guys, Rex Ryan, Mike Pettin, defensive coaches that I would say are pretty damn good. And so he's learned a lot from them, and then he'll bring his own style to our defense, and I think the players will be excited about it.
Coach, you talked a lot about how Deshaun Watson has improved as a player, but how has he improved with his vocality as a leader off the field with his younger team?
Yeah, he's an excellent leader. I'd say first and foremost, he leads by example. He leads with his work ethic. He's out there every day at practice. He's in early. He stays late. He works in the weight room, takes care of his body. He'll do whatever needs to be done at practice, stay after practice to fix a route or go out early to try to work on center quarterback, cadence or things like that. So he does a lot of different things on and off the field to help us as a leader. He's an excellent leader. Not much. Not much. I think that we have a great team of people that have done, in my opinion, a great job of preparing us for the combine. So Matt Bazergan, James Lippert, those guys and all the college scouts, especially relative to this week, have done an excellent job of preparing us a week ago for this week. And we've had some good meetings. Feel like we're in a good spot relative to what we're going to be looking at, who we're going to be evaluating, interviewing, and all that. There's been a lot of preparation put into this, and we're excited about the week. So I think for me it's just about making sure that pay close attention to what we need to pay close attention to, and just communicate with everybody and make sure we're all headed in the right direction.
Where are you at though, conversation-wise, with Laramie's people and Deshaun?
Yeah, I would say, I probably would tell you I'm not going to get into any, just specific contract negotiations. I don't think that's probably fair to the player especially. And it's not fair to the club, but I will tell you that we want both those guys on the football team, and we're working very hard to try to get that done. Those things take time, James. I think you know that. You've been around a long time. They don't happen overnight. Everything has to fit together relative to your team, your salary cap, what they're looking for. And but with those two players, Deshaun Watson and Laramie Tunsil, we want those guys on our football team for a long time. So.
What qualities are key to having a corner be successful in the league today?
It's a good question. I mean, I think that depends on where you're playing that corner. I think if you're talking about an outside corner, I think you've got to have a guy that has man-to-man capability. I think it's got to be a guy that, obviously has the right skill set of body type, movement skills, ball skills, instincts, and the ability to tackle, the physical nature of the game, the way some offenses are, running the ball to the outside, the way some offenses are putting tight ends on the perimeter now. So I think it's a very difficult position that we're all trying to figure out, who the best guys are to get on your football team that can do a lot of different things. I think the inside position is also a very valuable position, the slot corner. I think that we call it the star, that position's very important too, because that's a guy that, does a lot for you on the inside of the defense, slot covering, slot receivers, doing different things within the front. So I think those are positions that we spend a lot of time talking about and trying to do as good a job as we can in evaluating them.
Bill, on game day, you're not having to worry about play calling, you'll keep up with it. How does that change your game day role, if at all?
I don't think it changes it too much. I think that one of the bigger changes would be between series. I'd spend a lot of time with Deshaun and Tim on the offensive line, the running backs, the tight ends, wide receivers on the bench there before we go out for the next series. I think I'm not going to do probably as much of that. I think I'll do more about being able to focus on the whole game and how the game's being played and things like that. But I don't think it changes it too much.
When you're building a roster and trying to project for now, and one of the challenges, like the quarterback position, where rookie deals are pretty friendly, but then the quarterback market expansion has grown exponentially.
Yeah, it's very challenging. You have to do as good a job as you can of making sure that you take care of your quarterback. I think that's important when you have a great young quarterback. But at the same time, you've got to have a team around him. So there's a lot of challenges to that. Not sure we have enough time to go through all that, but I think you have to have really good people in your organization that understand and can come up with creative ways to help those issues relative to putting a team together. It's not – everybody knows, and Deshaun Watson would be the first one to tell you, it's not about one player. It's about, a lot of players. So it's a process that takes a lot of time, a lot of good communication, and that's what we're in. That's part of our daily routine.
Bill, what do you think about playing a 17th game?
I thought about that in anticipation of maybe someone would ask me that question. I don't really want to get into all that. I don't know enough about it. I'm more involved relative to the coaches that I talk to on the rules side of things, but I don't know enough about it. Only I know what I've read, which is all rumor. Until there's a deal in place, I don't think it's really my role at all to talk about it.
Bill, from facing Buffalo in the playoffs, how do you see that team build on success in the last 2 years?
Yeah, they have an excellent team. They have a very tough team. They have a team that plays great complementary football, a very physical team, very well-coached team, very disciplined team. Got a great young quarterback, got a great head coach in Sean. He does an excellent job. Got a really good coaching staff, strong guys on their staff. Know a couple of those guys. So they're doing an excellent job. I mean, that was a brutally hard game, that we were fortunate to win. And Buffalo's got a really good team.
But where's Titus at in health?
Doing well. Yeah, doing well. I would say that to put a timetable on it, I probably wouldn't be able to tell. I think he'll be able to do some things in the off-season program, though. Yeah, he's doing really well. He got married a couple weeks ago, so I don't even think he took a honeymoon. I think he went right back into the training room rehab. But I don't know. I'm just kidding. But but no, he's doing really well. He's a great kid. We're glad he's on our team.
Are you in favor of keeping the offensive interference rule the way it was last season?
That's a good question. I think the whole goal for all of us, and when we go into these meetings, there are great people. There are some really bright minds in these meetings, both on the coaching side and on the officiating side and on the league side. And so what we do is we just got to come together on consistency and what is the standard and what exactly are we looking for, because as coaches, whatever they tell us, we'll coach it well. Like, one of the things that's come up recently, obviously, is like, blindside blocks on special teams, right? And now we coached it, and in my opinion, you see the players reacted very well to that. You see the high screens. You don't see there's still some plays, obviously, that are bad and we're trying to get all of them out of the game. But you see players, whatever we coach them to do, these players are great. They're gonna do what we coach them to do, and so hopefully we can just keep working to be consistent in how it's all called.
When you're looking at running backs, what are some of the qualities you look for? It seems like a lot of different styles of running backs.
Yeah, there are different styles, and when you look at this draft, just in my opinion, I mean, I've watched some of the backs, and there's a lot of different styles of backs. You have big backs, you have 250-pound backs, you have backs that are smaller, really good in the passing game. So it depends on what you're looking for and how you categorize those players on your roster. So, you're looking for a first and second down back, bigger guy that maybe not as much in the passing game, but really good downhill runner, 3-down back that can kind of do it all, third down back. Just depends on how you vision the player and trying to come to a conclusion on how we would use that player. I think that's a big part of this process.
Kind of curious, Bill, how you go about this whole combine process with the picks that you have kind of towards the top of the list. What's your approach, I guess?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good question. I mean, I think we're meeting every day here. We've had several really good meetings here relative to that, where we're at. We haven't even gotten close to putting a draft board together or anything like that. But we've had a lot of good meetings, strategic meetings about, what our picks are and, hey, this is the group of players that may be there, may not be there, those types of conversations. But we're way down the road from that. We're just kind of chipping away every day at those things.
You mentioned one about improving the team all the way. What do you think about the XFL? How much you guys scout the XFL?
Yeah, I think the XFL's been interesting to watch. I mean, some of the different rules, the kickoff rule, the 1-2 3-point, point after rule. Watch the Houston team. They're fun to watch. I mean, they have a good quarterback. June's doing a good job with that team. I think it's a fun league to watch. I think I'm not sure that I would want the players being interviewed on the sideline in between series. I would probably not like that, and I definitely wouldn't want to be interviewed during the series. I'm sure you would like to see that, but no, I think it's been a good league, and I know Oliver Luck's doing a really good job. They got the right guy in charge of that league because he's such a good guy and cares about the game, and so it's been fun. It's been fun to watch. I think anytime football's being played, I think any coach would tell you that whether it's CFL, XFL, wherever it is, you're watching those games. Okay, thank you.